Oh my gosh, Barbara, I am so excited to be interviewing you on this little interview about your experience in the intuition and mediumship and spiritual awakening class. And I love talking to you because it has been literally years since you took the class, and we have been soul sister friends ever since then. And
Mm-hmm.
watching each other live our lives and grow and shift, and it's truly such a blessing for me when I say that um my reward comes from seeing people's transformation. I'm not even shitting you, because I get to see people just completely change their life, and you're one of those people. And so I'm so grateful for you to be here with me today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I
Yay.
love you so much, and I'll do anything for you.
Ah, I
Um,
love you too.
and
So
I'm grateful to have you in my life as my friends, as my soul sister, as a mentor. All of that. So thank you for having me.
yay, I love you back. So do you remember when you took the class? I mean, I know it's been a long
4 years,
time.
4 years
It's been 4
or
years.
more. Yeah, yeah. It's been a good long time. We're getting old.
Oh shit, I didn't know it was
Yeah,
that long. That's crazy. So
yeah.
can you, since it was so long ago, can you recall, like, what was your life like before we met, before you took the class, before you developed?
I remember all of it. I remember, that's one thing that I do have is a great memory. So, I remember my life before, my father had passed away. And that's when I actually connected with you. And I think it all was just in divine order. Um, Before that, growing up, it was just very, stressful in a sense and lonely in a sense too, because I always experienced spirit. I've always experienced hearing noises, sounds, you know, a feeling like someone's looking at you, around you, hearing your name, calling. And I remember just feeling like, man, what the hell is going on? I had a lot of anxiety, panic attacks. Um, I guess you could say a lot of the symptoms that everybody talks about, I had those symptoms. I couldn't be home by myself without having anxiety. Um, even as simple, seriously, as just taking a shower by myself, I would call the dogs in, come stay with me, because it just felt weird. I always felt like I was being looked at, watched at, and those kind of things. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
wild that you say that shower thing too, because one, I remember the Long Island medium, right? She
yeah,
talked about that she has severe anxiety inside small spaces like an
yeah,
elevator or the car or her
yes,
shower. And the reason why is because, like, that's when you're alone and your mind is quiet, and that's when
right,
spirit can communicate, or when you start feeling spirit, as in maybe people that followed you home from the freaking grocery
yeah,
store because they
yeah.
wanted a message, and you're just like, I just want to take a shower.
Right. And there's no way out. If you think about that too, like in a closed space, there's no way out. Where when you're out and about, you can run from whatever you don't even know. But in a small space, yeah, there's no way out. I felt like that when my hubby and I got together, I wouldn't even let him close the bedroom door. Like I would just like as soon as the door was shut, I'm like, ooh, open that door. Like I don't like the feeling. Um, Elevators, I didn't like the feeling. Just everything just felt creepy. Even at night, put the fan on because I hear and you hear it and you're trying to make out what you're hearing and you know you're hearing it, but you can't like
Pinpoint it.
pinpoint the conversation, but you hear multiple voices. So that was a thing. And I didn't tell anybody. I just thought, well, shit, I can keep this to myself. Because then the first thing they want to do is medicate you or, something's wrong with you, and I didn't want to deal with any of that. So I just, thankfully too, I had my mom and my grandmother who were very open as well. So they were just like, oh, just ignore it. And I'm like, how do you ignore this shit? I can't even sleep. You can ignore it. So, yeah.
It's so classic. So I know, like, people that are going to be watching this video are like, oh, because
There's another one just like us.
how many people right now that are watching this, on their replay are going, holy shit, I've been keeping quiet about this my whole life. Or
Yeah.
my kids are telling me about this and I don't want to tell the medical community because I'm scared.
Yeah,
Like
because they'll
nowadays, some
medicate
people
them.
take their kids away for the craziest shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah. Yeah, they will. They will. Or medicate them.
Or medicate them, yeah.
Or medicate them. And it's unfortunate because, you know, we are sixth sense. We are a part of one energy field. So it's actually something that's very normal. And if we don't talk to the kids and talk to people who are experiencing it, and they're freaking out, and of course the medical doctor, it's not to their fault. They're not aware. They're
Right.
not aware. So you have all these groups of community of people that are not aware. So what do? You treat the symptom with a medication. And I remember when my doctor wanted to give me, anxiety. Oh, she's having anxiety. No, I'm not having anxiety, but thankfully I didn't go down that road. And thankfully my children have me as a mother, and I'm able to, when they go through little things, I'm able to say, hey, you're just like your mama. That's normal in our family. So
I think
yeah.
that's wonderful. And I love that you brought that up because I've had a multitude of moms come through my program
Yeah.
because they're like, something's up with my child, and your motherly instincts kick in. And some of these moms aren't even intuitive, but they're like, something's definitely going on. And I know that my child isn't crazy, that they're just experiencing, they're talking about the people that live in the basement, these types of things. And that's when I jump on and I say, girl, you got to learn to develop this. You need to learn the tools behind this, because you're going to be raising a gifted child.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So one of the other questions I wanted to ask you was, like, when you took the class, like, what was one of your favorite takeaways? What's something that still after 4 years sticks with you today, where you're like, oh my gosh, I remember this about the class?
You know what? I was a big old crybaby. I cried all the time all my life. And I could feel emotions. And I think the biggest thing that I really, truly took away was knowing that I was an empath. Knowing that I wasn't just a big crybaby. That I was really connecting to people and connecting to energies. Not only to people, but even to animals. And I connect on a higher level where it feels personal to me. And it feels just overwhelming. Like I guess personal is really the word I really feel is like personal. Like I take everything personally that's happening to someone because I can truly feel what they're going through. I can feel their waves of emotions. And that was a big takeaway because I'm like, I cry all the time for everything. And I thought, oh, I'm just sensitive, but I never felt like I was just sensitive. I just felt like, why do I connect so personally? Why do I feel this so personally? Why am I in a room and I want to cry? Why is that? I know I don't want to cry. Like all of a sudden my mood switched, like a bipolar, right?
Yeah.
But you're not bipolar. You're just vibing off the energies. Or why do I feel grumpy all of a sudden? All of a sudden. So I love that I took away knowing that I'm just really am sensitive and I am an empath, and I can walk into rooms and just kind of feel the vibration of the room. And that was like a big deal to me. So now I can cry freely and just say, I'm an empath. That's my symptom.
I love
my diagnosis. That's my diagnosis.
I love it. And now at least you could go, that's not me.
Yeah, that's not me. You know what a quick funny story was, I would always tell my girlfriend I'm an empath, right? And she's like, what's that? And I tried to break it down. So we went to soul camp, and it was an amazing experience. I volunteered, and we're sitting and we're making beads with an astrologer, and you're putting your intention into a Tolman bead. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I'm going to freaking cry. And I turned to my girlfriend, I'm like, I'm going to cry. She's like, what's wrong? I'm like, I don't know. Somebody needs to cry here. Somebody needs to cry. The girl in front of me gets up to tell her story and to tell like what her bead represented. And as she stood up, she started to cry. The girl in front of me bawls out. And my girlfriend looks and she goes, holy shit. Like, wow, you were not, like, wow, you're for real, Barb. And I'm like, I told you. So of course I hugged that girl and I, give her kisses. And I'm like, everything will be okay, and I just, I love to hug. But that was something that, when people don't know what empath is, you just feel. It's just odd. It's the most random situations too. It's random. It's not something you can control, even as much as you ground yourself. You can ground and ground and ground. But if that energy wants to come through and you're supposed to feel it, you will. You're going to feel it. And then you're going to hug somebody.
Exactly. And you were there and that woman needed you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
It was pretty cool.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, that's so crazy.
And then, what was one of the gifts, besides your empathy, which is amazing,
Right.
you walked away from with class? Like, what is like your specialty if somebody comes to you, do you think?
Wow. I would say the psychic. My mediumship was pretty strong, but I felt pulled more to the psyche level of, being able to touch on your future events and being able to really mold people. Because when people come to a psychic and they want to know something, and they'll say, oh, I want to know, but they really don't want to know. And then you tell them and they don't listen, and I think that when I read someone and I'm able to say, this is the future right now, it's beautiful to say you have the ability to change that because you manifested this. You manifested that. Your thoughts, until the universe brought forth this prediction. And this prediction is something that you can change. For the most part, you really can. People, think that, oh, if I say this, this is how it's going to be. And that's not the case. Yeah, sometimes there are things that are already grounded in and that you're going to go for the grind. Mm-hmm. And that will be there. But there are parts that you can change. So I like to see myself as maybe a future guide saying, this is what's coming. This is what's going to be. But there are things you can change by changing your thought process and by looking at what I have given you and how do you want to change that. So I think definitely developing the psychic really, really, really was a strength because I've been psychic all my life, a dreamer, a seer. And I think learning all the grounding techniques, learning the meditation techniques, and just saying, yo, this is who you are, be it, that really, really pushed me forward for sure. Yeah.
I like that. And yes, you are an amazing psychic. You're one of the people that I'm like, I don't know what's going on because I can't read myself. Let's text Barbara and be like, girl, I got to get a session.
Yes.
Because the stuff that you say is like, so like, how did she, like, I'm psychic. So it never ceases to amaze you, right? When people reach back out and go, oh my God, like what you were saying about my husband's job and everything, it like it all came freaking true. It's so crazy. But it like gives you, like you were saying, hey, this is what it's going to look like right now. So if it doesn't feel good, then let's make some adjustments in your thought process or at least even be prepared for something like that.
Yes. Yes.
But the other thing that I was talking to somebody else too is like you give them this psychic like prediction and it's freaking beautiful. And if it's something that they don't like and like you're saying you need to change your thought process, that's where that beautiful like spiritual coaching comes in that you do too, right? You do spiritual coaching because then you could say, well, you don't like that, then let me help you change.
Yes. Like what is your current thought process? And I want to say it's so important for us that we're aware and we bring all the people who come to us and we don't bring them, the universe, God, whoever it is, spirit guides, sends them to you and says, you know what, Barbara needs you now or this person needs you now. And I think the beauty is that as we're all awakening and we're all seeing this occur, the beauty is to teach that to the children, right?
Yes.
Because that's the future. And I tell my kids every day, if there's something you don't like, don't speak about it so negativity. Like, so just say something positive about that every day. Because, I'm going to have a 13-year-old and now he's in like that stage, And I'm like, no, you know better than that. Who's your mom? You know better than that. So I think it's beautiful when we have a group of people reaching out to us, you know, I always pray and say, I hope that whatever they learn from us, they're teaching their nephews, their nieces, the youth on the block, in the community, because it's a big deal. We're setting a foundation, and the kids need that foundation because, you know, look at everything on the news is negative. I don't watch the news. And when I do, I say, why did I watch this shit, man? You know, and it's like everything is so negative that the people that are reaching out to us, that we are able to say these positive things to, or help change a vibration or help change something. I always say, man, I hope that they're giving it to someone of youth, the little guys and the little girls, you know.
I love
Because I
that.
think that's a big deal.
I love that. You know,
Mm.
case in point, like my entrepreneur brain is going too, because, and I don't even know if it's my entrepreneur brain, it's more like my brain where it's like, let's take what you just said and freaking explode it and make it happen. And
Yeah.
like there's got to be somebody out there that's teaching childhood intuition development, right?
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
that meme out there that says, what if we taught all our kids meditation in school? What would our
Yeah.
world be like? What would our
Yeah.
world be like if we taught them intuition and even
Yes.
mediumship?
You know, and I'm blessed to have the people around me that support that, because I've worked with a lot of kids in meditation and intuition, and I continuously talk to the kids out that are on the block, you know, teenagers doing teenage things. And every moment that I get, I try to say something to them, you know, because you blink your eyes and you're here. You're
Yeah.
an adult, and
Yeah.
life is real. And how do you approach life? How do you approach life?
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people end up coming to me to be either get a reading or go through the program is they've tried to figure out life up until a certain point when the pain got so great that they're like, there has to be something else. I must be missing something. And they go through the program and they find their spirituality. But if we could, like you say, teach from the beginning, they'll never be going out into the world looking
Lost,
for something that's not there.
lost, that empty feeling,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And of course, through the peaks and valleys of life, all of us, no matter how guru we are, we will experience, you know,
You
that
do.
moment of, I feel like I'm in a block, and I call you, I'm like, you know, I'm in my block, I'm in the block, you know. And I think that it's more important for people to know that we will never be perfect, because we're living the human experience for a reason. If we were perfect, we wouldn't even come down to experience this human experience. And I think it's so important I always tell people, like, when they're like, how do you do it? I said, girl, I just do it. You know, I don't know how. I keep it moving. I keep it pushing. I keep reminding myself all the tools that are in here. You know the tools. So I have a frumpy day, and then tomorrow pick up the pieces. You know, have 10 glasses of wine. I don't know, a bottle.
Or one of my other coaching clients, she does something called I don't know, something to do with her kundalini. And she's like, I had to do it. And she does this. She's like, bam. She goes,
Yeah.
but you know what is so cool? And she's in recovery. She goes, you know what's so cool? I found a freaking tool that I could go from to, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like you're saying, reach in the toolbox,
Yeah.
you know, maybe freak out for a hot second, but then get your, like,
Yeah.
whatever it is, her kundalini rising yoga pose or whatever,
Yes.
and realize that you are the only one that can shift
You're
what's
the
going on.
driver.
You're the
You're the
driver.
driver. Yes.
Oh, I just love you.
You.
And so since you've been through the class, since you've been through like the spiritual path, like where are you now? Because like some of the tools that you learned out in the class, like what are you doing in life and or business and or what, you know, with like even a career, even like working out in corporate America, like how has it helped
I'm
you?
doing a lot. I'm doing a lot. It really, the class really opened me up to the trust and allow, Brandeline, you know, the trust and allow. And when we first, you know, I was doing everything, I was doing my psychic readings. I still do psychic readings. I still do Reiki. I still do mediumship. And I love it. And I love it. And that's on my off time. But there was a moment where I was in the funk of like, what's next? What's my purpose? Where where does God want to use me now? Where does the universe want to place me? Hello, spirit guides, what's going on here? And I was kind of in a funk. I was in a funk. And then I randomly, not looking for a job, randomly got a job at a cemetery. And so now what I do is I am blessed because I am able to help people on the worst day of their life.
Wow.
And, I meet with families when there's what's called the first call, when someone has passed away. And if anyone has experienced that, or not experienced it, it's the most difficult moment of your life. And I get those calls and I meet with the family and I prepare them for burial. Not the person, but the family. I walk them through what is the burial, what's going to happen, and the steps and that we need to take. And, more importantly, I get to hug these beautiful people. I hug them. I almost cry with them. I can say that I've been a stronger empath because I cry when I come home. I don't do it in front of them because I know I have to be strong for them. And I feel it's an honor and a privilege, to be really honest with you. A lot of people say, how do you do it? I do burials every day. I have a burial on Friday. How do I do it? I pray and I meditate. I pray and I meditate. And I say, you know what? This is where I'm supposed to be right now. This is my job right now on this earth. And, I watch my words wisely, because they're in such of a mourning state, some shock that someone just, passed away. And I'm able to just use my healing energy, the Reiki, and just, envision that love to them, envision the healing to them. And as healers, just that hug. Oh my God, just that hug does so much. So that's where I'm at now. I still do everything on a side. I still have my Sacred Knowledge group page on Facebook. I still have my Barbara Kneeland business page on Facebook. I still do my readings, but I am back in corporate America. And I'm there for now because I believe this is where I'm supposed to be for now. Because I'm learning how much love matters. When someone loses someone, a lot of people can not relate in a sense, right? They're like, oh, I'm sorry for your loss. But, really, this is someone's, they were just cheersing with that buddy. They were just having a drink with them and they passed from a heart attack or a car accident. This is their family member, their tribe person. And being able to just love that person, and every day when I come home knowing that someone else is having a harder day, that I need to be more open-minded and just remember that love is the most important thing. Loving each other, man. Just loving each other.
That's
because
what it
everybody's
all
trying.
The unconditional
Do the
love.
best that they can. Everyone is doing the best that they can with the cards they're dealt right now. And they don't know what we know. That's the harder part. They don't know what we know.
Amen to that. So true.
Loving them, I guess. I love to hug. I hug everybody. I'm hugging you.
I just love you. So it's called, what is your group called on Facebook again?
Sacred Knowledge. That's my Facebook group.
It's just Sacred Knowledge.
Sacred Knowledge. And then I think I have a little apple there, or like maybe it's the light bulb, knowledge.
The little icon. Okay.
And
people can reach out to you there to like get one of these amazing psychic readings or find out more about what you do, because you also do stuff with herbs and stuff, right? Like,
yes, girl, how did I forget that? Yes, I'm still all in the herbs, and nutrition. I'm doing the herb thing. God bless. I have healed my husband. Knowledge is so important. Listening to the different herbs I need to use and the different herbs I need to work with my son, that had asthma, but now he's asthma free. I do all kind of herbs for him and mix up a bunch of things. And I think that it's so important. Everything that we do is so important. Everything that we do. And I just wish I could explode it to the world. Like, if you only knew, what meditation could do, what herbs could do, what positive thinking could do, and just allowing your spiritual team to say hello to you. Hello, like listen, I think that's so important because meeting you, literally, my dad sent me to you. I'll never forget the day that I met
And
you.
your dog, right?
And my dog,
your
yes,
Dalmatian.
Nico, the Dalmatian, yes. And I think more importantly, letting go of all the fear. People are afraid to use herbs. I talk to people about herbs and they like freak out. Is my doctor going to say it's okay? It's a fucking herb. It's like a vegetable. What do you mean? You're going to ask your doctor permission to eat broccoli? It's hilarious.
Or Burger King? Do you call it?
Right. You get a prescription for Burger King and fake meat and fake cheese, even though it tastes so good. But it's like the fear that people really have taking herbs. And I have so many testimonies, just this, like, let's even go away from herbs. You have arthritis. Oh, I have arthritis. My doctor says I have to take this pill. Just simple. Pineapple and celery in the morning. Just juice it. Pineapple and celery, anti-inflammatory. Drink that every day, morning and evening, and see how great your arthritis is. Or that extra boost of vitamin C or electrolytes. Taking a multivitamin that has all the trace minerals. Our water doesn't even have trace minerals. And you put a couple drops of trace minerals, seaweed, just the simple things that are not even herbs that we don't know about because, doctors practice medication and practice medicine and it's not their fault. Like, it's not their fault. They don't know. So seeing a nutritionist and seeing an herbalist, that's important. But people have fear because we put all of our energy into a doctor to fix us.
Well, I think a lot of the fear is because you're asking them to think for themselves, and we've been programmed to only do whatever the TV tells us to do.
Yes.
So we're like, oh my gosh, I don't feel good. I better go to the doctor. And
I love it. My nutritionist, they own a store called Larrabee Herbs, and they've been around since 1837. They're my best friends, and they always tell me, Barbara, disease, if you break it up, is dis-ease. Your body is in dis-ease. It's talking to you.
If you're not at ease, right? You're at dis-ease.
Exactly. Yeah. I love
you
so much.
I love you too. You have such a beautiful gift all around.
Thank you.
And so I'm so grateful for you to be coming on here, giving the interview, sharing like just real talk. I mean, I love the real freaking talk. And
I'm excited for you. If I could say one thing about you, I think you're amazing. I love the fact that you're like, your goal is to just like heal the world. Like, you're like a big hug a world person too, and like-minded people find each other, and I want to say that at first, and I think this is important to say, I was afraid to take your class. I was afraid. Let's keep it real. I was, and you said, put your big girl panties on. And I was like, they're in the washer. You remember that? And I remember that when we hung up the phone and I was like, I had met you, and I met you because I was in your group, and you were the only admin in all the groups I was in that actually talked to people. And I'm like, damn, she's even talking to me. What's up? And, we were just chit-chatting. And I had prayed, and I was like, my dad's departed. And I was like, Dad, what do you think about this? I'm going to give this, lady a call. We're going to talk. When I hung up with you, I looked at the clock, the grandfather clock that's still right on my wall, and it was 11:37. And my father's numbers are 137. And I was like, shut up. And I still was afraid. And I was like, and I prayed on it, and I'm just like, what? All the signs, boom, 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 sign. And thankfully I had already knew how to be aware of signs. And I did it. So people that are out there, all the folks that are going to watch this and they're like afraid or they're unsure, like, man, take that jump. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Literally.
So true.
A peace of mind, a life friendship, lifelong friendship, And I think that people need to know that, like, that the world needs to know that, you were a gift to me,
Aww.
Really. You
You
know,
me too. That's why I think it's so cool. And we haven't physically touched yet. And we're not
oh
too far
no, we
away.
haven't.
So we gotta hook up.
Yes.
But to find these true soul sister things, like you're saying, spirit really does connect you to the people you need in your life.
And whoever sees this video, it's not a coincidence. You know,
Right?
that was a big thing I learned. It's not a coincidence. They'll see the video and they'll still be scared, you know? But remember, it's not a coincidence. It's when you're ready. What was the saying? When the student is ready, the
The
teacher
teacher
will
will
come.
come. I love it. I love it.
And I love you.
I love you too. So let me go ahead and say thank you to this
You're
and
welcome.
stop the recording here really quick. And so I'm so grateful to have had you on here.
Oh, thank you.